Curly Foo and Peanut Productions present Sherlock Holmes and the Adventure of the Blanched Soldier, adapted from the short story by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. We begin our tale in 221B Baker Street, as Sherlock Holmes prepares for an evening of refined cultural entertainment.
Where are the fizzy fish? Okay, let me see. Popcorn, licorice all sorts, Maltesers, cheesy quavers, pickled gherkins. Watson, where the devil are the fizzy fish?
Don't ask me, Holmes. You said you'd take care of the catering for tonight.
Indeed I did, and I distinctly recall a bowl of fizzy fish right there, sitting between the custard dip and the Marmite soldiers.
I've absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Watson, I am Sherlock Holmes. I have a mind like a steel trap, and I know I put them right there. Show me your hands.
Oh, really? Don't be so ridiculous.
Show me your hands.
There. Satisfied? Oh, my God. Ugh. Oh, I cannot believe you just licked my finger. You're beyond the pale, Holmes.
There's I thought. Traces of ascorbic acid and artificial colours E102, E122 and E142. You scoffed the whole bloody lot before the evening even started.
Well, you shouldn't leave them lying around.
That'll be Mycroft. Predictably punctual as ever. You can go and let him in, Mr. Piggy.
Mrs. Hudson? Mrs. Hudson! Could you please answer the door? Mrs. Hudson! Oh, for God's sake.
You haven't a hope in hell of her doing anything for you since you forgot to invite her to watch the film with us tonight.
I did not forget. You said, and I quote, "Don't you dare ask that bloody woman to join us." Bit mean of you, I thought.
Yeah, like I said, you forgot.
Guten Abend. I have let myself in. You're too slow to answer the door.
Mycroft? What do you mean you let yourself in? That door was double locked with a push-button code deadlock, high security Yales and 4 stem bolts.
Yeah, child's play.
Show off.
You could have gotten in quicker, Shirley.
Yeah, well, I suppose I could have done. And don't call me Shirley.
Come here, Shirley. Come and give your big brother a welcoming hug.
Oh, must I? And you're only older than me by 93.5 seconds.
Blimey, that's accurate.
Yeah, well, that's German mothers for you. She actually tried to squeeze us both out together for the sake of efficiency, you know.
So no big hug then?
Maybe later.
I can wait.
I'll give you a hug, Mycroft.
You are not my baby brother. It would not be the same. However, any port in a storm.
Ugh, not so tight, Mycroft.
What film are we watching this evening?
Let's watch something about the undead.
Oh, good call, Watson. However, I think you're still fretting about Mrs. Hudson being miffed, aren't you?
I am, but how could you tell? Oh, wait, it's because you're Sherlock Holmes. Like I could ever forget.
Yeah, quite so.
Please tell me your thought processes. I love to see your wonderful mind at work.
Oh, Mycroft, don't encourage him.
Shut up, Watson. Let Shirley speak.
Now you sound like me, Mycroft.
That is a compliment.
And don't call me Shirley. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. Watson obviously had Mrs. Hudson's cadaverous form subconsciously on his mind when considering our film choice for this evening. Hence, I concluded that his failure to invite her tonight was still bothering him.
I did not fail to invite her. You told me not to. It's only me. Talk of the devil.
Mrs. Hudson, how wonderful to see you. Please join us this evening.
You two-faced git. I'm always welcome, aren't I?
Of course. It's not like you need an invitation, is it?
That's what I thought. Evening, Mycroft.
Guten Abend, Frau Hudson. How are the hemorrhoids?
Oh, how thoughtful of you to ask. They're very well, thank you. Hello, Mrs. Hudson. You do look, normal this evening. Huh.
There's no getting round Mrs. Hudson like that after your failure to invite her this evening, Watson.
No, there isn't.
Here we are, Frau Hudson. Try this gherkin.
Oh, thank you, Mycroft. Lovely.
Oh, Lord, it's like watching a petrified slug being forced into a pig's sphincter.
Oh, what are we watching then?
Well, Watson suggested a film about the undead. He said it would be like you, Mrs. Hudson.
What? No, I didn't. I said it would be something that Mrs. Hudson would like.
Oh, jolly good recovery, old chap.
Get stuffed, you troublemaker. I do like films with corpses.
I thought you might, and I had just the thing. How about this?
Zombicide? Brilliant. That's the movie of the game of the book of the comic.
Yeah, quite so.
Who is in it?
It stars Chester Fist and Fanny Bleacher.
Fist and Bleacher? Brilliant.
Never heard of them.
They made Anabolic Armageddon together.
Never heard of it.
And Bleacher was in God Said What?
Nope. Never heard of it.
It was very funny.
It wasn't meant to be.
It made me laugh.
It was about a manic depressive spiralling down into multiple suicide attempts.
Yeah, hilarious.
It sounds good.
Mrs. Hudson, you must have seen Chester Fist in Window in Your Guts. He was the action hero's action hero.
You've never heard of it, have you?
Nope.
Remind me, what was Chester's catchphrase?
Go ahead and cough.
Oh yeah, that's right. Very good. Go ahead and cough.
Yeah, go ahead and cough.
It sounds so much more manly when Chester does it.
Yeah, it does.
Mm.
Yeah.
Just put Zombicide on, Holmes.
Okie dokes. And play. Could someone pass me the licorice all sorts? Huh? Oh, come on. Who ate all the blue ones already?
What's this dip?
Stop sniffing the nuts, Mycroft.
They are dry roasted. It reminds me of mine old Shih Tzu.
It's starting.
You know, this rather reminds me of a case I once had.
Does it really? Now there's a surprise.
Oh, yes, indeed. And until now, I've neglected to furnish you with the details, Watson.
Yeah, furnishings. Sounds great. Let's watch the film.
It was one of the strangest cases in my collection.
Oh, look. The movie started, Holmes.
Watson was not involved in this case. Why not?
Oh, he was off with some wife or other at the time.
I won't hear of this case, Shirley. All your adventures are so wonderful, and you're so wise and clever.
I'd love to tell you the tale. And don't call me Shirley.
I'll put the film on pause then, shall I?
It all started when I had a visit from a Mr. James M. Dodd. Have a seat, Mr. Dodd.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
No, not that chair.
What? Oh, sorry.
No, that one.
Terribly sorry.
No, that one. Sit there.
This chair.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Quite sure.
I say, would you mind pulling the blind down a little? The sun's shining directly into my eyes.
No.
Well, maybe I could move to the chair over there.
No. Stay where you are. I found it wise to impress my clients with a sense of power.
By remaining aloof and blinding them with sunlight?
Quite so.
It's making my eyes water.
Jolly good. I perceive that you have recently come from West Africa.
Why, yes indeed.
Sierra Leone, to be precise.
That is correct.
You were serving with the Royal Hampshire Regiment.
Exactly so, Mr. Holmes. You are a wizard.
Oh, not at all, Mr. Dodd. Your virile appearance and beautifully tanned face could never have been established in England's climate.
But that does not explain it all.
The rest of it I concluded from your T-shirt, which reads, I went to Sierra Leone with the Hampshire Regiment, and all I got was this lousy shirt.
Amazing.
I know. Now to business. How can I be of assistance, Mr. Dodd?
Well, my tale starts several years ago when I first joined the Hampshire Regiment.
Will this be a long account?
Moderately so.
Well, stick to the facts, but feel free to embellish the story where necessary in order to give it a frisson of excitement.
As you wish. I joined the regiment at the same time as a chap called Godfrey Emsworth.
Ooh, any relation to Chris Hemsworth?
No, his name was Emworth, not Hemsworth.
Oh, that's a shame. Chris Hemsworth is brilliant.
Yeah, he is rather, isn't he?
He's very chiselled, like a Viking god.
And a beard really suits him.
I suppose, if you're into that sort of ticklish thing. Continue with your account.
There was no finer lad in the regiment than Godfrey, and we soon became close friends.
How close?
Very.
Would you say it was the sort of friendship that can only be made when one lives the same life and shares the same joys and sorrows?
He was my best mate.
Oh, one of those, eh? Well, my best friend decided that married life was more important than hanging out with his closest pal. The bastard. Go on, Mr. Dodd.
Well, a little under a year ago, while we were both still in Africa, Godfrey was badly injured in a freak goating accident.
You mean a boating accident?
No, goating.
Well, that's a new one on me. Must remember to add it to my index of the weird.
I only had one email from him while he was in hospital in Sierra Leone, another when he was shipped back to old Blighty, and then, poof, nothing. That was over 6 months ago.
Part of me is desperate to say, so what?
Well, upon my return to these shores, I immediately tried to contact Goddard, but received no reply to my emails and Facebook requests. When I tried to reach him by telephone, his father fobbed me off with the story that Godfrey was in Mykonos and wouldn't be back for a year.
That's a jolly long time to spend there.
It was a lie, Mr. Holmes. Godfrey would never have gone to Mykonos.
No, why not?
He suffers from elenogarstenophobia.
An acute phobia of Greek waiters.
Yeah, precisely.
Really, I rather like them. Well, it takes all sorts, I suppose.
Eventually, I made my way to Tuxbury Old Hall, his family residence near Bedford, to find out firsthand what the hell was afoot.
What happened when you arrived?
I confronted his father, Colonel Horatio Hemsworth.
Not the Colonel Horatio Hemsworth, BC, the one with his own fully posable 6-inch action figure.
Yes, the very same.
Have you seen the abs on that little figurine?
I know, they really are quite remarkable. It runs in the family.
How did the Colonel react to your visit?
Well, as you know from his reputation, Colonel Hemsworth is as hard as nails.
Yeah, good.
His treatment of me was pretty rough.
Ooh, really?
He'd tell me nothing of Godfrey's situation. The more I persisted in my questioning, the angrier he became. If it hadn't been for Mrs. Hemsworth, I believe the Colonel would have kicked me out on the spot.
What did Mrs. Hemsworth do then?
Because it was evening and had grown dark by the time I arrived, she insisted that I get something hot inside me before I left.
Oh, that's nice.
Colonel Hemsworth eventually left our presence, and over a cup of tea, his wife pressed me for details concerning our exploits while we were in the regiment together.
I'll bet you have a few stories to tell of your shenanigans, eh?
I certainly do, but nothing I could repeat to his mother. Well, after a while, she had to nip to the loo, leaving me on my own in the drawing room.
Did you have a nose around?
No.
I would have done.
It was after she left the room that I looked towards the patio doors which led out into the garden. What do you suppose I saw?
I don't know. A twitching bush with a pervert in it.
What? No, nothing of the sort.
Oh, that's a pity. Your story needs something like that to liven it up a bit.
I saw a face staring in at me.
Was it the face of a bush pervert?
Not exactly. It was Godfrey.
Blimey.
Only his once ruggedly handsome face looked, well, blanched.
Blanched?
Yeah, he was deathly pale, his face glimmering like cheese in the darkness.
Good grief, what sort of cheese do you eat?
As soon as he saw me looking back at him, he turned and ran.
What did you do?
I rushed through the patio doors and set off after him.
Did you catch up to him? Or did he nestle himself in a bush and proceed to make it twitch?
No, ahead of me I heard a door close, and so I headed towards the sound.
What did you discover?
A small outhouse. It was shuttered and barred, but I could hear voices within. I could swear one of them was Godfrey's, although it sounded odd.
Odd? In what way?
Well, like he was trying to talk while sucking on a gobstopper.
How big a gobstopper? And what flavour?
Oh, a moderately large one. Probably melon.
Ugh, I'm not a big fan of melons. Could you make out what he was saying?
Unfortunately not, and at that very moment I felt Colonel Hemsworth grasp my shoulder.
Does he have a strong manly grip?
Yeah, it was fabulously vice-like.
Golly.
The Colonel then proceeded to evict me from the premises. He warned me never to return or he'd break my bollocks.
No, you wouldn't want those broken.
No, I most certainly would not.
So, what do you wish for me to do, Mr. Dodd?
I want to know what is wrong with my friend, and why his family are refusing to let me make contact with him.
Your account does provide some points of interest, such that I am inclined to take the case.
Oh, why, thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Firstly, though, there are a few questions, if I may.
Ask away.
Who was Godfrey talking to in the outhouse?
I don't know.
Did you see anyone else at the house other than Mr. and Mrs. Emsworth and Godfrey?
Only old Ralph the butler and his wife.
Do they actually call him Old Ralph?
Yes.
And he's okay with that then, is he?
He has no choice.
I see. And tell me, while you were in Africa, did anyone ever bite Godfrey?
No. Well, not hard enough to break the skin at any rate.
Are you sure?
Well, not 100%. Why? Do you have a theory, Mr. Holmes?
Indeed I do, and I would very much like to accompany you to Tuxbury Old Hall so that I might test it out.
Excellent. When do we leave?
Tomorrow.
Why not immediately?
Because I need to acquire a couple of items to take with us.
What sort of items?
Oh, just a baseball bat and a machete.
What do you want those for?
Simply as a precaution, Mr. Dodd.
You know best, Mr. Holmes.
Naturally. Now, if you could make your own way out, I shall see you back here on the morrow.
Good day to you, Mr. Holmes.
And to you, Mr. Dodd.
Why are we waiting outside the gate, Mr. Holmes? Why can't we just go straight up to the hall?
Because I asked someone to meet us here at Tuxbury.
Hi, Mr. Holmes.
Dr. Brooks, thank you for coming. Allow me to introduce Mr. James Dodd, the gentleman I was telling you about on the phone.
Hi, Mr. Dodd. I'm Dr. Brooks, but please call me Max.
Good day to you, Max. Are you a medical doctor?
Not exactly. I have a PhD in kinematology.
Do you know what that is, Mr. Dodd?
Well, yeah, of course I do. I'm not thick, you know.
I never said you were, old chap.
What's in the bag, Max?
Petrol-driven chainsaw.
Oh.
Shall we proceed, gentlemen?
Lead on, Mr. Holmes.
Are you excited, Max?
Does it show?
It rather does. Here we are. Be so kind as to ring the doorbell, would you, Max?
Sure. Good day to you, sirs. How may I help you?
Good, you must be old Ralph. Good Lord, Dodd, you were right. He is ancient.
Told you so.
I mean, look at him. He's like really old.
I have feelings, you know.
Hello, old Ralph. I wish to speak with Colonel Emsworth.
Do you have an appointment, sir?
Oh, listen to him. I hope I'm that compos mentis when I reach his age. No, we do not have an appointment.
The master will not see anyone without a prior appointment, sir.
I thought he might say that. Here, give the Colonel this note. I think he will want to see us when he reads it.
Very good, sir. Please wait here. I'll be back shortly.
Are you sure you don't need any help, old Ralph? We wouldn't want you falling and breaking a hip or anything.
Wait here.
What a sweet old man.
I imagine he must have been rather handsome in his youth.
I believe you may be correct. I envisage him as rather dashing and a bit caddish.
Oh, yeah.
But, the ravages of time, eh?
Yeah. What did you write on the note, Mr. Holmes?
Just one word.
And what was that word?
Well, I can't tell you that now, can I? It would ruin the plot. You're just going to have to wait for my dramatic revelation bit later on.
Not even a little hint?
Nope.
I think I can guess what it said.
You keep your gob shut, you.
Dodd, I might have known you'd be behind this. I told you that I'd break your bollocks if you returned to this house.
Leave his bollocks alone, Colonel Emsworth. It was I who sent you the note.
And who the festering fish feces are you, sir?
I am the great consulting detective, Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes?
Yes,
The Sherlock Holmes?
yes.
The chap who goes around poking his nose into everything and interfering in other people's affairs?
Well, I wouldn't quite put it like that.
May I please have your autograph?
Why, of course you can, my dear chap. I loved your action figure, Colonel Hemsworth.
Oh dear, dear me. You've seen that, have you? It's rather embarrassing, really.
Not at all. I think it's magnificent in miniature.
You're too kind, Mr. Holmes. Much too kind. You'd better come inside, all of you. Who are you?
I'm Dr. Brooks, but please call me Max.
No, jolly good. All of you, come through to the drawing room. Mr. Holmes, that note you sent me, how did you know?
It's his business to know things.
Gosh, thank you, Max. Whenever I said something like that in front of Watson, he was always a bit sarcastic. You make it sound butch, though.
Well, you forced my hand. If you wish to see Godfrey, then you shall. Ralph? Ralph!
Yes, sir.
Run on ahead and tell Dr. Kent to expect us.
Run? Seriously? Should I call an ambulance now, or do you want me to wait until he actually pops a hip?
He'll be fine. Off you go now, Ralph.
Very good, sir.
Follow me, gentlemen.
Well, golly gosh, what a surprise. We've caught up old Ralph already. Whoever would have thought it?
Go back to the house, old Ralph. We'll take it from here.
Very good, sir. Could someone please carry me?
There, ignore him. He'll be fine.
It's nice to see the feudal system never completely died out in Great Britain.
This is the outhouse I was telling you about, Mr. Holmes.
Dr. Kent! Dr. Kent! I'm here with some people. Is he secure?
Yes, Colonel Hemsworth. The chains are fast.
In that case, we're coming in. Gentlemen, prepare yourselves.
What in God's name do you need a chainsaw for?
Oh, now he asks.
Is that really necessary?
Oh, yeah.
Here, Dodd, you take the baseball bat. I'm sticking with my trusty machete.
What the hell?
How is he, Dr. Kent?
Perfectly calm, Colonel Hemsworth.
I feel fine.
There's no chance of him getting free again, is there?
No, I have taken great care to ensure we do not get another running around incident.
Seriously, I feel okay.
Be quiet, Godfrey. You could completely turn at any moment.
If you say so, Father.
Godfrey?
What, Holmes? Is that you back there, Dodd?
Yes, it is my friend. Egad, you look terrible.
Don't hug me.
I wasn't going to. I mean, you look really bad.
I know.
Really bad.
The way to go with hurting a fellow's feelings, Dodd.
Sorry, but what's happened to you?
Well, it's rather a funny story, actually.
Do tell. I love amusing anecdotes.
Well, when I was in Africa, I was involved in a pretty dramatic goating accident.
Yeah, I know. Nasty business, or so I heard.
Indeed. What you don't know is that I didn't go straight to a hospital after it occurred.
I wasn't aware of that. Where did you go then?
Well, when I came to immediately afterwards, I found that all the other chaps had scarpered, and I was quite alone.
The bastards! What did you do?
I was somewhat disorientated and wandered around in rather a daze. All I really wanted to do was lay my head down and rest.
That would have been a bad idea. There might have been more goats in the area.
I had my wits about me and just enough to realise this, and so sought shelter. After what seemed an eternity, I found a rather shabby building, inside a ruined compound. The place was full of filthy beds, but I was far too gone at that stage to care, and so I just crashed out on one of them.
I've been in some Premier Inns just like that. There's one in particular just off the M62 near Bradford. Ugh, I don't want to think about it.
When I came to many hours later, I was surrounded by a whole load of ragged individuals, standing around in a mindless trance and making incomprehensible moaning sounds.
Oh, was it a youth hostel?
No, much worse. I realised in an instant that I had laid myself down on the bed of a...
Zombie.
Yes! Oh my God, yes!
Had you been bitten while you lay unconscious?
Due to the goating injuries, it was impossible to tell. Needless to say, I fled the place immediately. Eventually I found help, and sometime after that, I wound my way back to Tuxbury.
Where I have kept my son safe and secure, waiting for him to transition into one of those... things.
Until Dodd here came along looking for his intensely dear friend and ruined your plan.
Yes, and I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids.
I bet you've been dying to say that for ages, haven't you?
I'm sorry, couldn't resist it. You know, opportunity knocks and all that.
I can forgive you the Scoobyism. What I cannot forgive is the way you've behaved with regards to your son.
But I protected him, kept him hidden away from the world, watched and waited for his ghastly demise.
Yeah, precisely. You have potentially harboured patient zero. He should have been handed over immediately to the appropriate authority, and then, when the time was right, destroyed in the most humorous way possible.
How could I do that to my only son? To my own...
Zombie.
He ain't no zombie.
Oh, what?
I mean, look at him.
I know. Yuck. Right?
No, his level of decomposition is all wrong. And listen to the way he speaks.
He talks funny.
Yeah, but he's coherent.
So, he just hasn't been through the change yet.
No, zombification can occur in as little as 1 minute 18 seconds. This guy has been brewing for far too long.
You're right. Uncharacteristically, I ignored the facts and was blinded by zombie over-enthusiasm. I, who pride myself on my intellectual capabilities and place myself above other people's observational inadequacies. I feel like a bit of a twat now.
Hey, come on, man. I understand better than anyone that the hardest part of the zombie apocalypse will be trying to pretend that I'm not excited.
So, if he's not a zombie, then what is he?
This guy's just a leper.
Oh, that's all right then.
A leper? You're just a leper?
Sorry, Dad.
Don't you sorry dad me. Do you know how much I paid to retain Dr. Kent? And your poor mother hasn't been able to hold a swingers party here for months for fear of your discovery.
But Dad...
I say, steady on there, Colonel Emsworth.
Dr. Kent.
Stay out of it, you.
Yes, Mr. Holmes. May I trouble you for a...
No, you may not have an autograph. You, sir, are the worst medical practitioner since Dr. John Watson.
That was a bit uncalled for.
Come along, Max. Let's leave this lot to it and go and find a nice pub where you can tell me all about your student mortality rate.
Will I be okay taking my chainsaw along?
Oh, if anyone asks, just say you are on your way to a Comic-Con.
That was wonderful, Shirley. You told the tale so well, and you are so clever.
They do agree that I was quite remarkable. And stop calling me Shirley.
What do you mean, remarkable? You thought that bloke was a zombie and were told up to do him in.
Yes, well, all the evidence...
More to the point, how come you believe in zombies but rip the piss out of me when I thought that kid in Sussex was a vampire?
That's because in Sussex you were being ridiculous.
And you weren't being ridiculous at Tuxbury then?
Certainly not. Oh, for God's sake, will one of you wake Mrs. Hudson up? Her snoring is like listening to someone trying to unblock a toilet using a stomach pump.
I have a better idea. Instead of trying to wake her up, let us see if we can get her to choke on one of these Maltesers.
What are you proposing, Mycroft?
When she is breathing inwards, we drop eine Malteser into her open mouth, and then wait to see her cough and splutter and turn purple.
Haha, brilliant idea. That would be hysterical.
I'm sure that somewhere in the Hippocratic Oath there's a bit about not killing people, Watson.
Is there? I don't know.
I have to agree, though, it would be pretty funny.
Who's going to drop the Malteser in there then? I mean, she's going to go mental at the culprit.
I will do it.
So, you're not afraid of her then, Mycroft?
On the contrary, I am terrified of her. But she seems to like me, so I will simply blame Watson, and she will believe me.
What? No, wait, you can't.
Too late, in it goes.
Where the hell did it go?
It just disappeared into her face. She never even missed a beat.
Amazing. Let's do it again.
No, don't keep wasting Maltesers like that.
You're right.
Naturally.
We must try something larger. Like this boiled egg.
No, wait, that might actually be
Too
dangerous.
late.
It happened again. There's no reaction from her at all.
Do you suppose it'll come out the other end without so much as a tooth mark in it?
Yeah,
Let's not do that again.
I agree.
And me.
No, where was I?
You were telling us why vampires are ridiculous, but zombies aren't.
Oh, yes, that's right. Well, given the current state of the world and the unnatural mutations and propagation of viruses within our civilization, I believe that a zombie apocalypse is inevitable.
That explanation is vague enough to be plausible. Okay then, what's your zombie contingency plan?
You're sitting on it, Watson.
This comfy armchair is your contingency plan. What, does it have a stash of blunt instruments and a basic survival kit hidden inside it?
No, Watson. As usual, your perspective is wrong. In the event of an apocalypse, I buy myself more time by feeding your ass to the zombies.
You bastard!
What a clever plan, Shirley.
It is, isn't it? And don't call me Shirley.
Were you disappointed that Godfrey wasn't really a zombie, Holmes?
Yeah, of course I was.
But I suppose if he had been, then you could have said the case was reanimatory, my dear Holmes.
Oh, come on. That's not even a real word.
You have been listening to Sherlock Holmes and the Adventure of the Blanched Soldier, starring Stanislaw as Sherlock Holmes, Simon Stein as Dr. John Watson, Anastasia as Mrs. Hudson, and introducing Gustav as Mycroft Holmes. All other parts were played by Fred Turner and Dennis Gavin. Adapted and produced by Fred Turner and Dennis Gavin. Music from Elgar, Wagner, Grieg, and Ross Budgeon. Sherlock Holmes will return in the adventure of the three Garridebs. Visit our website at www.thecurlyfooandpeanut, that's all one word, .co.uk. No one should take themselves too seriously, especially Sherlock Holmes.